show here today at the Life School Masterclass Show. I'm your host, Elona and I help companies scale their purpose and profits. And today I picked a topic that I know is very important in any scaling of our companies. The heart and the mind and the heart of every business is marketing and sales. I think most entrepreneurs understand that concept because, again, you can have an amazing purpose, you can have an amazing service, you can have an amazing product, I should say. However, if you don't understand the journey of your marketing and your sales, more specifically today, your lead generation, then of course you can reach the right people that you want to create impact with. So that's why it's really important to understand that there is a very intentional journey in your marketing and your sales, and the two should work together hand in hand, kind of like they always need to do that dance, so that again you can reach the right people to offer a transformation to and create impact with your service or product. I want to clarify something with lead generation. A lot of the words I use is for marketing purposes because this is what's been in the market for such a long time. I personally don't like to consider relationships or prospecting, as it's known in the traditional marketing and sales terms, as that, as such, as prospecting and as lead generation. Instead, for me, it's important to be able to have always the right relationships and the right eyes on you and the service and the offer that you have to create results with. Um, and that's kind of how I look at, prospecting or lead generation. It's all about human relationships, the right humans that need to know about you, that you exist, so that you're able to offer them the transformation. So that I just want to clarify my definition of prospecting and lead generation versus what's out there in the market. I'm very convicted about that and I'm very passionate about that because to me, one of the values of me and my brand and what I stand for personally is human relationships. And that's where I will begin today's conversation with lead generation. So here's the ways that marketing and sales work together hand in hand, like brother and sister. Marketing is the channels that we utilize, whether they're local channels or virtual channels, because we do live in a hybrid world, meaning we have our real world, the local world, the physical world, and then the virtual world. So those two marry together. And then we have that happening. So that's marketing, bringing in the right people, bringing in the right attention to you and what you have going on so that you can serve people and nurture them through the prospecting journey or through the intentional relationship building journey. That's kind of how I would define lead generation. So being intentional about those new people that know you, building that knowing factor, the liking factor, and the trust factor, which is so important for human relationships because, again, unless we know, like, or trust people, unless we have explored if we have commonalities with them, if we align with their values, if they have added value in our lives thus far, these are most of the ways that we add value and build trust. So being very intentional with your lead generation journeys, and also leading people very intentionally in your prospect journey into your world so that you can further support them through your traditional sales calls. Or I say that, to me, the definition of a sales call is a holding space for the right decision making opportunity to happen. That's how I define sales calls, so that you can serve people at the highest level. So this process is really very important. And a lot of the times businesses have a big pain point around the sales piece because they're not doing the marketing piece, right? They're not doing the lead generation piece, and they don't have a predictable way that they're getting new people to come to their world at all times so that you can then be able to service people through your sales calls so that you can provide them a bigger transformation. And if these two don't work together and they're not always happening, then you usually have the pain point, which a lot of businesses have, meaning they have run out of people that need what they have going on, right? So they are lacking sales, they're lacking new customers because whoever is in their circle of influence, so to speak, has already run out. So that's kind of the connection of why we always need a marketing. We always need to market. We always need to market. We always need to be able to sell so that we can offer a big transformation. Now, the next natural question around lead generation is usually, okay, so how do I now set up this lead generation system in my business intentionally so that you never run out of people that you are conversating with that have the problem that you're able to solve for them. And there's obviously many ways. I've always talked about my own process of how I help my companies is really clarifying your marketing channels, right? Speaking about lead generation and marketing, what are your marketing channels? And how are you always focusing on growing those channels with new people and conversations so that eventually you can then close clients and be able to support people further? So that's kind of how I would answer that question. What are some of the lead generation channels that we could use? And of course, there's so many, from local to virtual, right? You can go with all your platforms. You can go with local networking. You can go with local speaking. You can go with ads. You can go with cold calling, which has been the traditional form that businesses have kind of implemented in their systems for years, right? So these are all ways, and they all obviously need a very clear strategy on how to intentionally build know, like, and trust through the prospecting journey so that you can close more clients and scale your purpose and scale your profits. Thank you so much for joining. I really hope that this topic today was intentional and value driven. So let me know if there's any other questions around this topic. I want to thank you for always supporting the show. Feel free to share this episode with people that you find will add value to their lives as well. And thank you so much for always watching and supporting the show. I'll see you next time. Are you experiencing these two main gaps in your company and your business? Inconsistent cash flow and clients, and also scalability issues. Maybe you've reached your maximum capacity with your current business model and the way that you're operating your business now, and you are really experiencing burnout and no time freedom in your business, but you're not sure what to do to be able to scale your company to the next level so that your company also becomes an independent asset outside of you so that it can become an asset if maybe later you would like to sell your company or build a legacy company that really does more good in the world. For my dear podcast listeners, I'm offering a free 30-minute discovery call where I will intentively listen to what is it that you've built in your company thus far, and then offer my insight around some of the gaps that I can hear from the main gaps that we talked about at the beginning of this conversation that you might be experiencing. And I would love to offer some insight around my experience on what might some of those gaps be and ways to further support you in the future of the scaling of your purpose and profit so that absolutely you can do more good in the world and your company can be independent of its founder and owner and become an asset that also creates amazing momentum out there in the world. For a limited time, I would love to offer my 30-minute time on my calendar for a free discovery call. You can just grab a time on the QSR code right here on the left-hand side of the screen and grab a time so we can further connect. Again, thank you so much for being loyal listeners to the podcast and also for always supporting the show. I'll see you with another episode and another amazing conversation.